Oscar Lopez present. También los de moment is Evo Arona and Greta Arona. Because the next item prayer, would you please bow your head for a moment of silence? Remember your sequence and remember those all board members that we have because I really passed away yesterday. Keep them in your prayers and keep them in your prayers, the ones that you are praying for.
And you will too. Choose me, my as Carlos. It's me, my I'm sorry. I think I have to go to school.
Amen.
Barnacle.
Go to item number 3, pledge allegiance.
Barnacle.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Number 4, the superintendent evaluation. The record is Roldan is now present.
Trustees, and community members and staff, this is what we want to see. We want to see a room full of kids here to celebrate tonight, and that's what we're here for you tonight, boys and girls. This evening, trustees, we have quite a few recognitions that we want to start off with. And the first we're going to start with is recognition of Special Olympics technology, basketball team, track, field, and bowling. And I'll tell you what, I got to go to the bowling at one point, and that was amazing. There's no way I could compete with all of our students here, for sure, in bowling. So, we're excited. So at this point, to begin our celebrations, I'd like for Ms. Kay to come on up.
Yay, I didn't need Richard. Good evening, Mr. President, Mr. Lopez, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Moreno. This is my favorite time of year where we get to recognize our Special Olympic students, athletes, should I say. Our students had the opportunity to compete in bowling, basketball, track, and field. And at this time, without further ado, let's go ahead and start recognizing them. We're going to start with Angelica Luna. She has a trophy. She's getting a trophy tonight in bowling, basketball, and track and field. Angelica, you can come on up. Angelica Luna. Okay, she may be here in just a little bit. Jose Flores. Getting a trophy in bowling, basketball, and track and field. Jose Flores? Not yet? Okay. Joshua Hernandez. Bowling, basketball, and track and field. Come on, Joshua. And Joshua got his Letterman jacket this year also. All right, Joshy. Isaiah Gonzalez. He's getting a trophy tonight in bowling and basketball. Come on now. Persephone Santos. She's getting a trophy in bowling, basketball, and track and field. Desi Zamora. Way to go, Desi. Is Maddie Luna here? No, not yet. Okay, he's gonna show up. I know Jaden Albright is in the house. Basketball and track and field. Way to go. first pitch at the autism baseball game?
All right.
Roland Garza. I know Roland. Christina Trophy in bowling, basketball, and track and field. Jacqueline Martinez, bowling, basketball, and track and field. Isaiah Bersosa. Isaiah Bersosa, is he here? No, not yet. Okay. Jared Martinez. Marco Vasquez. Sebastian Garrett. Millie Cordero. Hi, Millie. Corinne Cruz. John Lopez. Aaron Verdin. Come on, Aaron. Eddie Arredondo. Whoa, yeah. Aaron, Spanish trophy in bowling, basketball, and track and field. Andrew Guerrero. Elias Thomas. Fernando Guerra. Valentina Salinas. Joaquín Ibarra.
coach just for a little bit, because again, the way that we bring the best out of all of our kids is to find the best within themselves. It's also a very compassionate and passionate staff. So thank you, coach. And all of
Get a bag, baby. Come get your bag. Come get a bag. Come get a bag, baby. Come get a
All right, trustees, and we're going to continue with our celebration with Ms. Kay, and we have a very special guest today, Martin Henry, and Ms. Kay will be sharing with us about Braille presentation.
Okay. Yes, thank you. A year ago, we were confronted with very specific needs for a student, and after much thought and deliberation, we concluded that we could offer this student a unique TA course if the RISD school board approved it. This particular course would provide instruction in pre-Braille skills, tactual discrimination, the reading and writing of the Braille code, and the development of efficient Braille reading, including fluency and comprehension. This course would also emphasize the conventions and mechanisms of Braille, and therefore facilitate and support tasks completed in various subject areas and work environments. Today, this student is here with a few words he would like to share with you.
Good evening, Dr. Moreno and school board members. My name is Martin Henry Velasquez. I am a sophomore at Robstown Early College High School. I am in all general education classes, including 3 pre-AP classes. I am also a tenor drummer at Robstown in the Big Red Band. I wish to thank thank you for giving me the opportunity to take the TEA Braille Reading and Writing Innovative course this year. I'm glad that you approved this class because I am able to earn a credit for my graduation requirements. I'm diagnosed with a disease called blocked Koyanagi-Harada syndrome, which affects the eyes. I've been battling this syndrome for 12 years. Taking this class is important to me because my vision is deteriorating. My vision gets much worse. I will need something to help me continue reading and writing. Braille is a code, not a language. It is made up of 6 dots called a cell. Letters, numbers, words, and even punctuation are all represented by a multitude of different configurations of dots. This year, I learned a total of 246 configurations of Braille. When I started in August, I did not expect that I had to learn 246 configurations. But now that I think about it, I can't believe I learned all of them. Once again, I want to thank everyone for making this happen, and I look forward to next year's challenges.
Thank you, Martin Henry. And Martin.
Another big round of applause. Martin Henry is a pioneer for us here at Robstown ISD. So I think that's another big round of applause.
And don't go too far, okay? I'm gonna call you in just a minute. This time I'm gonna recognize our Technology Olympics students with visual impairments. We had 2 of our students participate in the 19th annual Technology Olympics for students with visual impairments on May the 2nd. This Technology Olympics provides our area students with the ability to showcase their technological skills through the use of specialized equipment. The use of these devices allows students to have the accessibility to their curriculum and the opportunity to increase their skills in the expanded core curriculum. These skills allow students to transition from school to real life situations, higher education, and career development. Elias Tamez earned 3rd place in the use of an electronic distance device. 3rd place in the use of School earned first place in contracted Braille writing level 1. An electronic low vision desktop magnifier. Way to represent, guys. Yeah, why don't you go in there? Let me get a picture of you. And if you don't know Miss Tapia, she is our VI teacher. So come on up and take a picture. And thank you to Ms. Tapia and Coach Rudy for all the hard work that you do and your dedication to our kids. Oh, here, guys. Elias, did you already get it back? I guess I get
For the record, Ms. Corona is present now.
All right, at this point, may I ask for Ms. Peña to come on up? And Ms. Peña today will be introducing our winner of National Poetry Month, Anissa Martinez.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Moreno. We are here tonight to recognize one of our students. And once again, I'm here to present another poet. Last month I was here with one, and here's another one. Ms. Peña and I are very proud. April was the National Poetry Month, and during the Family Literacy Night at the high school, there was a poem contest. And our proud winner is Anissa Martinez. And she wrote a poem, and she's going to read it tonight. It's called Love. So congratulations.
Love. It's the way you feel around one person. The way you feel around nobody else. Love. You might say, no, it's not like that. You might lie and say, no, we're just friends. Love can make you cry. Love can make you lie. Love is amazing. Love is crazy. Love is love.
At this point, trustees, I'd like to introduce our track state qualifier, and Coach Gonzalez Adolfo and Maricela Gonzalez will present our qualifier today.
Hello, board members, Dr. Guerrero, administrators, and everyone. I'm Coach Gonzalez. This is also Coach Gonzalez. I'm Marisol, and this is Adolfo. I would like to let you know, I am the girls' head coach, and he is the boys' head coach, and we coach together, we team coach together. And I would like to introduce our state qualifier, who is Jasmine Miller. Now, she did compete, sweet, right there in the middle. Okay, I'm sorry. I do want to let you all know that she did compete this weekend at the state meet at Mike Myers Stadium, and she did very well. It was so nice to see her compete. I mean, it's been since 2003 since we had someone from Robstown compete at the state meet. And, you know, just to hear them announce her name and that she was from Robstown, I mean, it was so awesome. I mean, we had a very nice experience out there, and just to have her warm up at the UT football stadium, I mean, it was an experience for us. And, you know, usually we go to state with cross country, but this is our first time experiencing the track part. And, you know, it was an honor having her out there and coaching her. So, I'm very proud of her, very, very much.
So, Jasmine, would you like to say something about your experience?
I'd really like to thank my family and the coaches and everybody who supported me throughout this whole journey. I felt like it was really challenging to keep on going, but they were there for me the whole time, and I'm very excited and happy to be able to represent Robstown.
And Jasmine says she's gonna be awesome. Only a freshman.
Only a freshman, so we should be back.
What do you think?
We will be back. Yes, we will be back.
I thought it was the long She's a sprinter, that. She's gonna be good. We went through that journey. That was fun. Kind of missed those things.
Mom wants to.
I just forgot somebody, coach. Dr. Moreno, can I introduce one of our spring coaches? She's here. Your sister. Sorry about that. She'll forgive me.
She's a coach too.
All right, at this time I'd like to bring up Ms. Kelsey Cook for Proud You're a Picker Award.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Moreno. At this time, we take this special moment to recognize our employees who go above and beyond, answer to the call of duty, and do whatever it takes to make an impact on their colleagues, their students, and their fellow administrators. So as always, I will read the nomination that the HR department received on their behalf. I correspond and collaborate closely with this hard-working TA who is assigned specifically to serving as a TA to a life skills student who also receives speech therapy services. This student requires constant attention and supervision due to his cognitive and behavioral challenges. By having her present in our speech sessions, she observes and engages in activities with the student, learns new speech strategies and activities, broadens their knowledge and skills of how to communicate with her student, and reinforces the skills that the students have acquired in speech therapy everyday classes. Specifically, she knows how to help her students communicate through nonverbal means of communication through assistive technology devices. She provides the communication support needed for her nonverbal student to have the power to communicate with others nonverbally. Even though her student is nonverbal, she talks to him and engages him in all academic and social activities. Her student appears to be a happier student now, who is able to communicate more and behave better given the structured environment that she has implemented for him. It is with great pleasure that I nominate her for the Proud You're a Picker Award, as she is the type of person who genuinely loves coming to work every day and working with her student while giving him the tools necessary to succeed in life. Congratulations, Ms. Adelita Salinas.
So true.
Our department this year, and we couldn't be more blessed to have her. She dived right into her position and has made the library a loving, warm, and welcoming atmosphere. Each day it is truly evident how much she enjoys her life as a librarian through her students' smiles, laughter, and the tons of books that they check out. She has a great rapport with her students and staff, and I truly feel that Robstown ISD hit the jackpot when she joined our library department. Congratulations, Ms. Deborah Strana. And our last one.
privilege of working with an outstanding TA in the special education department. I correspond and collaborate closely with this hard-working person who is assigned specifically to serving a TA life skill student who also receives speech therapy services. This student requires close attention and supervision due to his disabilities. She possesses the patience, drive, motivation, creativity, energy, and kind-heartedness needed to work with this type of student. Although she works as a team with other TAs in order to help support all life skill students, she is committed to working specifically with her assigned student. She is always willing to learn new strategies and activities to help her students succeed. I know that my speech students will be okay when a wonderful person like her is present in the speech therapy sessions and is working with speech students to help them be successful, functional communicators in school. Throughout the day, she has been observed to independently utilize speech strategies and assistive technology with her student. She also provides the communication support needed for her student to have the power to communicate with others. She talks to him, models good speech for her student, encourages verbal speech, and engages him in all academic and social activities. As a result of her dedication to her student appears to be a happier student who is now talking more, communicating more, attending more, and behaving better due to the structured environment that she has set up for him. As you can tell, she's the type of person who believes that her reward for working with her students is just simply to see him happy and succeed in life. Because of all of this, she truly deserves this award. Congratulations, Miss Becky De Leon.
Always have a big smile.
And if we can have all recipients come forward for a group photo.
We have to go to item number 5, government participation, transform, item 6, and information item.
Trustees, the following are just informational items, but I would like to, as we have in the past, recognize our Rachel Challenge initiatives that we have in our school district. And at this point, what I'd like to do is showcase San Pedro Elementary with Ms. Cueva.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and Dr. Moreno. Hope you're having a great evening on this first day of STAR. One down, we only have one more to go, and we have one more at Ortiz. And Thursday, Seal. So it's a full day, full week of adventure. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and begin. My other cohort, my wonderful, outstanding PE coach, and he wasn't able to make it today, and neither was my campus coordinator for 21st Century because she bought tickets to Kids on the Block. Kids on the Block. So she's at that concert, and I was like, okay, that wins. So we'll begin. Rachel Town at South Bend Elementary. We all accepted, and I brought. They're here. My backups. The teachers, they're here for the new ELAR adoption. So I said, come up here. So basically, what it is that we took on the challenge, of course, in January. But however, at South Bend Elementary, that was something that we were implementing even the year before. Because we always felt that kindness is where it starts. You know, we live in a world where just traumatic things happen. Kids don't feel safe at school anymore. So it begins with our elementary, and it is impactful because I myself remember as a child things that have impacted my life. I'm a recycler. I like to recycle. But because when I was a kid, it was give a hoot, don't pollute. So that impacted my life. Also being safe impacted my life, you know, the bicycle rules and what have you. All of that as a kid impacted my life. So can we only imagine if we take this Rachel's Challenge and we somehow make this a kind of world, and we start at this young age, what will happen? We're gonna find out. So, do I do this? Okay. You gonna turn it on? Okay. We accepted the challenge, we link in our chains, we link our chains not only in physical form, but also through our actions. And each teacher plays a valuable piece to forming and keeping Rachel's Challenge thriving. So our teachers work diligently to make sure that, you know, either we live to those links. You know, we do something kind, whether it be on a daily basis or weekly, or being kind to one another. And it can be anything simple as to, you know, picking up a backpack or helping someone pick up something off the floor or opening the door in the morning. Those little simple acts of kindness are what get us through the day. Our morning messages, daily kindness quote. We have a daily kindness quote that we every morning we have, and we also at the end of our announcements we say, make it a kinder world today. Every day, make it a kinder world today, and that so we know as students that, and as a campus, and even our teachers, that we model that kindness. From the beginning at San Pedro, we strive to promote a kinder world by creating opportunities for our students to experience how doing the smallest thing of showing kindness makes us feel good about ourselves, and at the same time brightens up the day for someone else. So we had 100 Day of Happiness, and that was Miss Albright's classroom when we had the 100 days of school, and she had that poster of 100 Days of Happiness. Pumpkins for residents. Every K through 3rd grade student hand painted a pumpkin, and we delivered these to the Rotama Nursing Home here in Robstown, and each resident had a pumpkin for each resident there in front of their door. So that was, I even got to take one to my dad, so I thought that was really sweet, and he enjoyed it as well. Breakfast with friends. Each grade level invited various community members over for breakfast, inspiring each student to one day follow the footsteps of many positive role models in Robstown. So these were some of the things in appreciation for these different entities here in the district. We had the breakfast with the Friends Halo Flight, and they came over. We also had breakfast with Friends, the high school football team. We also had our very own school board member, and our students expressed their appreciation with posters and cards, if you remember. Pennies for Patients. We collected pennies and all nickels, dimes, and quarters to donate for patients, Pennies for Patients and San Pedro students. We invited one of the high school students, Andrew Suarez, in honor of his courage and resilience. And you can see our teachers. Without them, this actually couldn't take place without their encouragement for the students to collect the pennies. Kids Heart Challenge. pre-K through third grade, students participating in the American Heart Association. The top students, Leah Melisondo and third grader Annika, they raised over $100 to give back to the American Heart Association. Butterflies for seniors. Third grade students created butterflies to help brighten up and welcome spring to the residents of Otama. And random acts of kindness. We celebrated Kindness Week by writing kind words on the school, and in front of our school we had all these beautiful sayings, which are, you know, be kind, be kinder than necessary, written on their sidewalk to remind us that it isn't an everyday thing that we should do, because kindness matters. Be kind, the sidewalk messages. Kindness rocks. Those are our students. Choose joy, taking it to the streets. That was our 21st Century in KC Club that created fence art using foam cups to send a positive message to our community and to choose joy over everything else. The Kindness and Compassion Kids Club, we honored our Robstown Post Office mail carriers and workers with a token of appreciation for all their hard work and dedication to delivering our community's mail come rain or shine. And they were so elated when we did that. And I had never been to the back of the post office. And so we all went in there and we were just amazed as to the building, because I had never ever been there, and how long have I been in Robstown, you know? So we went back there and the kids had a great time. They were elated, and we also heard from people that knew the mail carriers, because they're not all from Robstown, that they were so surprised, and they were really proud and happy because no one had ever done that before. And when they left, they each got this bag full of goodies and tokens of their appreciation that we had gone in there. And they said at any time, we're welcome to go by and visit. So any school who'd like to go for a visit, they're open, come rain or shine. Campus beautification, the 21st Century and KC Club worked together to beautify San Pedro Elementary. And they dug and they made these little beds around the oak trees, and it looks really, really pretty. And of course, Mayflower brings happiness to our second home. I would hire these guys and have them go work on my bed. Interested in beautifying, these are the kids to do it. So do your little bit of good wherever you are. It is those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world. And that is so true. And this is part of that Earth Day and taking care of our planet. And that's also being kind to Mother Nature. These are our care packages. Last Friday, we embarked on, everybody has a Star Rally. And what we did a little bit different this year is that all our staff members, I said, we want to build confidence. We want to show our third graders that we are supportive of our kids, that they're going to rock this test. So, and the teachers, they all, what can we do for our third graders? Any token of appreciation, anything that you can do that's going to build their confidence. So the whole school, from pre-K all the way up, each grade level, as you can see, had a pre-K believes. They sent little care packages, little mementos, anything, letters, anything. And each week, they all did that by grade level. And I think you're here to attest. Yes. You want to share with us?
It was just something very, very kind and heartfelt from the other kids in the lower grades to our third graders, just showing our third graders that the whole campus as a whole, San Pedro, were behind our kids, and it was just something really sweet and the kids really liked it.
Now there was another thing that we did right before, we invited our parents to come in. And I said, there's going to be an activity, but I couldn't say too much. I couldn't put it in the note because we wanted to surprise our children. So I said, well, what kind of activity is that? And I said, well, you need to show up. So they came, and what did they do?
Each parent that showed up, they wrote a letter to their child, just, I love you, do a good job, I believe in you. And it was something very surprising to our kids, because obviously they weren't expecting it. And just the excitement that they had on their face this morning when we gave it to them, it just boosted their self-esteem, their self-confidence, and knowing that their parents are behind them, and just a little hey, I love you, just,
That was really great. And so not only would, did our campus embark on that, but we also included the community. And also where even probably parents were even surprised to, what am I writing? I said, whatever is in your heart that you want to tell your child right before they take storm. And those letters were heartfelt written. So it was really, really sweet. And that's another way of us going out and say, hey, let's do something kind for our kids, but also teaching them. Just any little thing is an act of kindness, or any words of encouragement or appreciation. And taking care of Mother Earth, Miss Albright's class, we collected 14,208 plastic bags, and her class alone collected 11,000. And they were, they came by the road. Oh my God, all these little, and they were as big as them, Mr. Zell. Anything you want to share about that?
It's just really fun to watch them. Look, they're so excited about everything at that age. This is the most amazing age you could possibly teach. But it's just one of the million things that they're always so excited about. But I like to win.
She likes to win. She did get a pizza party. We're just trying to fit it in, right? Right. And so you've got a friend in me at San Pedro Elementary who will accept Rachel's challenge, and there'll be more to come next year.
That's an excellent presentation. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. All right, trustees, other just general information that we have is if all of you look at this Texas School Business Magazine, we actually had a feature of Robstown ISD here, page 30. And the title is Backpack Program Offers Sustenance, Support to Robstown ISD Students. So again, this is Eric Gonzalez and one of our amazing students. And again, the food program that we work with here with the local food bank, they on a weekly basis actually come donate so that we can ensure that our families have that extra nutritious meal over the weekend. So again, that's something we definitely want to continue growing and moving forward with. But it's just amazing when we have an opportunity to showcase. And again, like I've said before, we tell our story and we write our narrative. So it's just another example of the greatness in our school district. This summer, you'll also notice in your board packets on, I believe it's page 10, it does have general information as far as the summer school program. We are going to do things just a little bit different this year because we want to continue to build a pipeline within our organization. So not only will we have our program as you see here, but this year we are going to hire what we call a summer school administrator, who's going to be a current assistant principal that can apply for the position this year. But then we also are looking out for our teachers who aspire to go into administration, who already have a mid-management certification, that they will also be a summer school administrator assistant. So that'll be two ways for us to look at on-the-job training, but at the same time to be able to have a just live interview, actually day-to-day. So those are great things for us to look at in building our program for this summer. The grand opening of the Century Room. I invite all of you on May 21st. We do have on page 11 of our packet the details, 9 to 10 o'clock. But this initiative, of course, comes from our autism grant and the hard work of our teachers that work along with the program. But we have May 21st, 9 to 10. We'll have our grand opening. I haven't even seen it yet, so I cannot wait to go out and see the classroom. Employee breakfast award ceremony on May the 24th. And I believe they all have your invitations. We have graduation on May the 24th at 7 p.m. And trustees, please be expecting you will get an invitation for that as well. Oh, you did? Okay, good. And then at this point, I'll have Ms. Conway come on up for our financial statement report.
Good evening, Mr. President, board members, and Dr. Moreno. On page 14 is your financials. Through April, 8 months, we're right at 67%, or should be. There are a few functions that are a little more than that. Don't panic. Let me explain just something real quick. Our teachers are paid based on days that they actually work. So we call that accruing. So in June and July, when they're no longer here, they still get a paycheck, but through the end of May, we will have expensed that. So it kind of makes our functions look a little off, but again, that's not a problem. It's just the way May and June will look. The second page shows that we're about $1.5 million above last year's revenue, total collections and revenue, and the expenses are about $1.4 million above last year's expenses. So we're close to in line with last year. Any questions on the bills or the financials? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just for me to state, although she stated it, but again, the next item was list of bills, if you had any questions on it. Okay.
Now we go to item number 7, consent agenda items. We have action items on both A and B, approval of minutes and approval of the budget amendments. Do I have a motion? Mover is Rogan. Second? Second. Second by Mr. Lopez. Are there any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Unanimous. We go to item 8, business and support, the next item. Discuss and take possible action of the tax refund to Wolverine, Rocktown LP for tax year 2017 per court order.
The trustees, again, assuming nothing, what I'd like to do is have Ms. Conway come on up. And what we are requesting is you take possible action of the tax refund to Wolverine, Robstown LP for tax year 2017 per court order.
Per 3111, I believe, I can't find it. In the property tax code, anytime a taxing entity has to pay back a taxpayer over $500, the board has to approve that. This is a court order. They filed suit against the appraisal district, won the suit, so the court then came back and said, we have to lower their value from $700,000 down to $600,000. The good news is, it doesn't hurt us. We just received, in 2015, we went back to the comptroller and told them that all these court orders, what does that do to us? We're now gonna get $270,000 back from the state, because the higher value, the state doesn't pay as much. But now that, the values were lowered because of court orders, because of appraisal, appeals, usually the state stays the same. So we go back and show what the actual values were, and we're gonna end up with $270,000 for 2015. We're also gonna do 2016 and 2017. It's good for the taxpayers and it's good for us too.
Thank you.
There's recommendation that we approve the tax refund to Wolverine, Rocktown LP for tax year 2017 for court order. Do I have a motion? Moved by Mr. Lopez. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Corona. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Unanimous. Okay, we're going to item number 11. We're going to go to, number 9, I'm sorry. We go to item B, discuss and take possible action on K-8 ELAR textbook adoption.
Trustees, at this point, I'd like to have Lorena come on up, and she's going to help us lead our presentation here. This year we are with our textbook adoption, and she'll be explaining a little bit more with that.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Moreno. This year, we have had the task, of course, looking at different textbooks for the adoption of the ELAR content. And we're ready to present a recommendation to you guys, to the board. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce the committee that came together over the last few months to review the adoption and take us through the process. As I introduce them, if you're here, if you can come up. From San Pedro Elementary, we had representation from Ms. Julie Albright and Ms. Normita Mes. From Lot Speech, we have Ms. Maria Ceballos and Ms. Rita Cisneros. From Robert Driscoll, we had Ms. Juana Blancarte Rios and Ms. Crystal Orobio. From Ortiz Intermediate, we have Ms. Gano and Ms. Abigail Gano and Ms. Lisa Levere. They're not here with us today. And then from Seal Junior High, we have Ms. Cotton served on the committee, Ms. Yvette Curry, and Ms. Betty Ramirez. And our district literacy coach, Amy Enriquez, served on the committee as well as myself. All right, so at this time, we had some courageous representatives that are going to come up here and take you guys through the process that we went through the last few months to come up with our recommendation tonight. All right, I'm going to hand it over to, who's going to go? All right, Crystal.
Okay, hi y'all. I know that's okay, so we're gonna look at the timeline of the adoption process. Okay, so this is kind of where our timeline went. In January is where we kind of started. You can take a look. That's kind of small to see. But, oh, hello. In January, we had the Instructional Materials Committee members finalized, and in February, we attended the Textbook Expo at the Service Center. And in March, we had McGraw-Hill, March 19th and 20th. Houston, Midland, Hartford came March through April 8th. And then we had Pearson, March 27th. And of course, in April, instructional materials were made and displayed for district and community to view. April, voting took place. The committee members tallied votes in presence of the campus principal. In April, Executive Director of CNI presented results to Central Office Executive Team. April board meeting, possible action on recommended textbook adoption. And from May to June, the campus textbook coordinator prepared a book room for new textbook. And from July to August, we received inventory and distributed new textbooks in campus. You're going to do the rest of it. Ready to presentation? Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, district textbook presentations. The three that we kind of came up with, we had McGraw-Hill, HMH, and Pearson. And all three of them, they all came and they presented to us, and they brought all their materials, all the resources that we needed. A lot of great things come up and making sure that we're going to follow what the new ELAR teams are going to be going into. So they brought all their materials, which was very amazing. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so then we had the community and the parents come and they could view the ELAR samples that we had on Wednesday, April the 10th at Robert Driscoll from 3 to 5. They had the Kinder through 8th ELAR. Then the next day on Thursday, we had at two campuses from 3 to 5, same time on Thursday. That we had grades 4th and 5th at Ortiz, and then we had the Seal Junior High 6th through 8th. And they were able to, the community could go and view the samples available as the teachers did too. Then we had the voting process. This was the tabulation at the end. The teachers had to rank each of the books publishers. We had McGraw-Hill, Pearson, and Houghton Mifflin, and we had to choose which one we felt was best for our students. After we ranked them, then we tallied it, and that's where we tallied we figured out which was the first and the second and the third. And we came up with McGraw-Hill and Pearson as the last two publishers that we would like to have.
Based on our voting, we recommend Pearson for K through 5 and McGraw-Hill for 6th grade through 8th grade.
As you can see, we did have a voting process. It didn't happen over one meeting, we had several meetings, and again, we had every single teacher in the district vote. And once everybody voted, then we came up with a campus ranking of the 3 vendors, and then as the members came together, we picked the top 2, and they casted the vote on their, on their recommendation. So tonight, Dr. Moreno, it is the committee's recommendation to for your consideration, K-5 Pearson and 6th grade McGraw-Hill. Any questions? Well, I'd like to thank the committee for all their time and energy, and it was really a neat process. We went over all the vendors over and over. We pulled out every material, compared and everything, and so we were here sometimes till about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and so I really want to thank you.
And ladies, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and myself, I'd like to thank you, and we'd like to thank you for just your personal time that you came to really make a great choice for our students and for you. Because this is these materials have to last us, I think, about 8 years, I think is the magic number, about 8 years. So there's a lot of thought, a lot of seriousness behind it. It's amazing to see them come together like this and be able to come up with two recommendations. So thank you, ladies. So trustees, based on the recommendation of our teachers, I'd like to take possible action on K-8 ELAR textbook adoption, K-5 Pearson, and for 6th through 8th grade, McGraw-Hill.
There's recommendation from staff that we approve the K-8 ELAR textbook adoption and what is it,
K-5 is Pearson,
and
6th through 8th, McGraw-Hill.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Orona. Is there a second? I'll second. Second by Mr. Lopez. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Unanimous? Okay.
And trustees, I'd asked Mr. Lopez just to switch around so our teachers could go a little bit, right afterwards. So if it's okay with you trustees, then we'll go to item number C, letter C, and then we'll go back to letter A.
Item C is discuss and take possible action of the instructional materials allowance and the PKS certification for 2019-2020.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Moreno. Every year, districts and open enrollment charter schools are required to certify to the State Board of Education and to the Commissioner that for each subject in the required curriculum, other than physical education, students have access to instructional materials that will cover all the Texas essential knowledge and skills, all the TEKS. So this is an annual certification to, again, TEA, the State Board of Education, and the Commissioner that we have the required instructional materials to cover the TEKS 100%.
Trustees, at this point, our recommendation to take possible action of instructional materials allotment and TEKS certification for 2019-2020.
Recommendation of staff that we take action of instructional materials allowance and TEKS certification for 2019-2020. Do I have a motion? Move by Ms. Roldan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Orona. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Unanimous? We go back to item number D, item A. Do you want to do it now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item A is discuss and take possible action on the RISD dress code for 2019-2020.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Dr. Moreno. You have before you the student dress, the dress code that is being recommended. What we have done, we have the dress code for grades PK to 8 and then the 9 through 12. And I'll review the first one first, grades PK to 8. And what is highlighted is what is being recommended to be removed. And the blue is what's recommended to take its place. At the elementary level, the recommendation is to allow students to wear
any shirt or blouse, as long as it is not revealing, or promotes anything deemed inappropriate or offensive. Presently, we have, students are allowed to wear a solid shirt, a striped shirt, a plaid shirt, a polo, an Oxford, a turtleneck, or any colored crew neck t-shirt other than white. And then we go into the definition of what a polo shirt is. What is being recommended from the elementary campuses is to allow our younger students to wear any shirt, and not specifically whether it is solid or whether it has stripes. Apparently there's some students that can wear a t-shirt maybe that has a small logo, and if you see that, only small logos or labels will be allowed. Students are still wearing some type of logo on their shirts. Maybe the little ones might be wearing a t-shirt that has the Avengers or a Mickey Mouse or a Ninja Turtle or Elsa from Frozen, etc. They would like to allow, just as long as the messages are not offensive and inappropriate. That is the only thing at the elementary level, from pre-K to 8. As we move to the secondary dress code, they would like to allow the students to wear leggings underneath the jeans or the pants that have tears. Presently, we do not allow tears or small rips above the knee. Only tears or small rips above the knee will be allowed. And they would like to see if they could allow that, but with leggings. Presently, we do not allow students to wear warm-ups, wind pants, or sweatpants from grades 9 to 12, and they would like to have our students be allowed to wear warm-ups, warm-ups, wind pants, or sweatpants. The wind pants, some of the athletes will wear their wind pants or sweatpants during the winter, so they'd like to have the students allowed to wear that. And on the second page, what's in yellow is really a contradictory statement. We just need to remove it because these are things that are not allowed. Body piercing jewelry is not allowed. Eyebrow rings, nose rings, lip rings, or any other areas except for the ear for females only. So we'd like to remove for females only and just make it for all. So no body piercing for anyone. Questions?
With regards to the facial hair for men.
That is on page 2 of the secondary. Presently, as it is, there is no change to that, no recommendation to change, and that is the second page. I'm sorry, it's on page 1. And
facial hair will be allowed as long as it's kept short
and neatly groomed. That's what we presently have, and they did not recommend to make any changes to that.
Okay, so if I am objecting to that, I see that they're not keeping up with the grooming part. I see where the kids are full head of hair, facial hair. Is that an option that we can remove facial hair?
That's up to the board.
Open for discussion, I guess.
That's really an opinion, because what you think is clean, I might not think.
Exactly, so that's why I'm saying completely remove, no facial hair.
How long has it been where they've been allowed?
Or it's allowed as long as it's kept short and neatly groomed.
Just last year.
Oh, so it wasn't before?
It wasn't before.
Before last year, did it allow it at all?
No, it's been the same. Last year,
I mean, this is the way it's been this year, and I believe last year it was allowed for it to be neatly groomed.
When wasn't that been allowed facial hair period?
I think it was just maybe 2 years, but no more than that.
I would have to pull it.
when I came in, that was already on there.
So that's been how many years?
Okay, Ms. Amayo says it was the year she was there at the campus.
2014, 2015. Because I think.
14, 15.
You shave at school, and I was very upset because it was his first time, and I was gonna save his hair. And I was very upset. But no, really, that's what happened. He was very asked to go home, and he had a cross-country meet, and he shaved at school, and it was his first time.
So 14, 15, Mr. Vargas? 14, 15.
Okay,
That's when it was
my
allowed.
thing is that I was at a particular event and I saw a couple of kids with a head full of hair like they were professional football players. I'm serious, like this long, and it didn't look very nice representation of our school. So that's where I'm going with this. I can see where they were trimmed and legally trimmed, but they're not. We allowed it.
It's more like the enforcement of it. They're not enforcing it. So it's like, it's very contradicting to have rules and come to the school board to ask us to change something when we don't make these decisions. They come from you guys. I mean, you all evaluate how the kids are following the rules because they gotta be enforced by the administrators and people at the campus. So to us, I don't think it's gonna matter to me, but it's gonna matter when you put something down and it means nothing.
Yes.
You know, and that's the whole intent of, you know, making a change, but following
If
through.
we make that change, to me, are we gonna ask our employees or our teachers to cut it up to? What?
No, I don't think your
I'm not
temper
gonna
cannot
let
be
you so
I mean, we don't have a dress code for.
No, pardon, they don't do that.
But these are
I
kids.
understand.
I think it comes down to accountability, because I mean, personally, I've even seen shoes where it says on here, it states on here, no house shoes.
And they're allowing
house shoes in the school, so we can change this all day long, but
I know.
there has to be a line of accountability where we have to trust the employees, and that we have to hold them accountable.
Well, I think it comes down to your administrator to
Right.
enforce
Right.
the dress code.
And there's too many kids
Well, no,
to
well,
change
this
this.
is where they need to come on stronger
That's
to
right.
enforce it.
That's right.
So that's what happens when you allow it to a point where it's allowed and then they take
Yes.
advantage of it and it gets out of hand.
Yeah,
That's
this
what-
is-
that's what's going on
When
now.
is the beard not too long?
Too long, not too long? I mean, it's shaved neatly.
When you can't see the mouth thing.
Yeah.
Just like the hair?
But this was, I mean, I'm serious, it was like. this-
So can a teacher or anybody, any staff
That's
send
okay.
a student to ISS? Anybody?
They need to go to the office.
Oh, they go to the office, okay.
I'm sorry, can we hear from Mrs. Romero for just a moment, please? So she can talk to us about the dress code at the school where she's at and see what's a problem or what's not a problem.
Thank you. Regarding the dress code, it is extremely difficult to enforce all the rules. Leggings, torn jeans, in the morning they're in tights, so we dress it with them. Go into they have jeans most of the time in their backpack. So they go into the bathroom, put on their jeans. Later on after lunch, they're back in the leggings. The flip flops, same thing. I mean, we can be addressing this all day long. The young men with the hair, we ask them to pin it up, they pin it up, later on you see them, it's down again. It's really, really hard to enforce. We try our hardest, teachers, but we would have kids in ISS at home, parents get pretty upset because, I mean, we do our best in enforcing all the rules. Regarding the facial hair, we do ask them to shave, but, we can't do it for them. So we can enforce as best as we can, and we really, really try our hardest. But it's really hard because, it's a non-ending thing.
I'm talking about UIL competition, basically, really what I'm talking about. This was in sport event. So when that under UIL rules, I believe you have to have a mask, it has to be covered. And he wasn't wearing a covered mask, so that's what I'm saying. It has to be under the direction of the principal or of the director, that has to police that kind of, because then we're breaking UIL rules. So that's beyond what I'm talking about. Yes, report.
No, this is recommendation from the staff, right now?
Yes.
You went through everybody, they had their input into it.
We received input from every campus.
And this is what they decided.
I have a question on the ladies. So no tears or small rips above the knee will be allowed or allowed with leggings. So no leggings under the pants.
They would like to allow the leggings.
They wanna allow.
Under the pants. Under the pants, with the hose.
Okay, so that's like another option, where they can wear these that are completely frayed, like as long as they're with the hose with the.
This is a hose or cover, so they'd like to allow, if the pants are gonna have the tears in the hose, to have them wear leggings underneath them.
Oh, because you know those pants that are coming out now that the whole leg is open? See, I don't wanna.
And it goes from the front and it goes from the back. And the same way with the warm-ups. I mean, my whole thing, I think kids should be free to, the education side doesn't affect what they wear, honestly. If they're gonna learn no matter what they're wearing. But you have to have standards. If we start to lower the bar on our standards, do you want our kids to wear warm-ups every day and a hoodie jacket? Is that what we want them to do? So do you want warm-ups only during the winter? You know, these are not gonna be policed by us. We're gonna support what y'all ask, but when do you want our kids to have a standard that we would like them to at least be representing our district? I mean, that's it. I mean, if we lower the bar, you're gonna have it completely. It's gonna be out there. So if you wanna see all those rips every day starting tomorrow or whenever this comes effective, then it's gonna be happening.
So I believe originally last year there were no rips at all, and that would make it a lot easier for us, but then when we allowed rips underneath the knee, then they go above the knee and.
That would be easy, then we have allow no rips, and that's an easy one. I'm still with the facial hair though, how do we tackle that?
How often do you come with the dress code?
How often do we come to the board?
Yearly?
Yearly, once a year, and practices that it's adopted before school's out, so that when school is out, then we, post the dress code and parents can buy accordingly over the summer.
I mean, I know it's hard to police, but it's like in everything, you have to have rules and guidelines for that. And if it's a difficult thing as administrators, we imagine the parents, it's a harder thing because they're trying to make them go back and change, but then they're carrying it in their bag to go and change the school. Why? Because at the school, they're not gonna enforce it.
So they wanna see if they can get away. So what I've started doing is I'm collecting caps. I have caps, I have hoodies, I have leggings, I have all kinds of stuff that I'm, to prevent them from going back into the bathroom and putting it back on.
Changing.
You know, we're holding our staff accountable as well because, you know, we can't do it all, the four of us, so.
Right. You spend a lot of your time during the day.
And that's another thing, we don't wanna have y'all spend all this time policing the attire. It's not, you know, it's not what we want, but yet we do, like Eva says, we do have to hold our kids to a high standard, otherwise they would come in pajamas, you know?
Oh,
And we don't-
That's what I'm afraid about the warm-ups daily because I think
They'll
they'll
do
take
that
it
in
to that.
college, but I don't think they'll do that in high school.
And this is tough because it starts with the parent. I mean, it does, it starts with the parent, and I see teachers myself battling with the parents, and the parents are talking back and saying, no, they're gonna wear what I say they can wear, you know, it's tough. It's just tough
And
all
it's
the way around.
okay, but Lori, like right there, this is where we come in, we have a rule, we have a guideline, and that's where you guys come in, where you enforce it. If you start letting go of enforcing it, then guess what? It's no purpose, this doesn't hold any
Well, then
ground.
why have a dress code then?
I agree with that, but you know what, it starts with us.
It does.
We can't be doing favors for our neighbors' kids, my kids, I mean, it starts with us. We have to set the foundation, and if we want them to do it, we have to hold ourselves to that accountability as well, where we're not gonna turn the blind eye to the kids that we know personally. I mean, it's gotta be across the board with us as well.
I think last year,
I've
wasn't
seen
it?
some board members say, no, it's gonna be okay with you, and we need to stop that too up here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't make those decisions when they're enforcing it because we don't even know about it. I don't. I mean, that's happening campus level, you know, we don't hear about it. But I just think with the warm-ups, didn't we agree last year that you wear them when it's announced? Because it's cold season, you announce it. It's like when y'all have Jean Day or whatever, you announce
The
those,
dress
you
code
give them
does
the
say
privilege.
that the administrator, the principal can designate days, you know, warm-up day or whichever.
I'm okay with that, I just think if you open it every day, I just think we're
I
lowering
can
the
see
bar.
that if it's real cold, you know, the kids can wear warm-ups.
I know at the elementary level, they do wear their warm-ups, and I know that, principals, and correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes there are the school reach, the phone calls, that go out to the parents, letting them know, because it's cold, you know,
At the elementary level, it's so much easier.
Yeah.
At the secondary level, sometimes our parents go to work and don't see their students when they leave. So a lot of them are not aware of what the student is walking out from the door, you know. But we do try our very best. I mean, I don't want you to think that the dress code goes in vain and that we don't try to enforce it. We try our hardest, but it's hard. And, you know, our AD is very good about supporting us. I can talk to him also about making sure and helping us, you know, enforce dress code and facial hair and all that. And usually if it's something that's unseasoned, man, those kids are on target. Once it's after football season and they're not playing, and I'm just saying football, but that goes with any sport.
It's there again, because we're allowing the facial hair and it gets out of hand. And so, I for one, do not like facial hair, period. I don't know about anybody else. That's my take on it.
This is so hard.
So
And
what
I'm
do you
really
want?
at the school with you guys, I'm sorry, Benny, go over there.
But the,
I feel your pain, really, I do, because I see it, I pick up Larissa and I'm like, wow, I wanna get down and pull them by the ear. I do, but you know, it's, like I said, it starts with the parents and it's hard for you guys. And I understand Bertha where she's saying, don't spend all day, but then we're also telling you, you need to hold them accountable. So what do? You have to do it all day, or, you know, they're gonna get out of hand.
It's like the tear that, Ms. Romero said, because we allowed it, now it's gone out of control. Yeah, it's out of control, because now we have to deal about leggings under the hole, so just no tears at all.
The committee that came with these recommendations, they, feel like they can control it, or this is
It was,
controllable, or?
we received input from every campus principal. The campus principal met with their staff to get the feedback, okay? And basically, it is a recommendation, you know, there's a couple of things here there's one thing we didn't even bring to y'all. You know,
Now, did you get some of your students involved in this also? Input or anything like that?
From the students.
This particular time,
Okay.
no, we did not.
Well, we talked
And I
about
think
that
it's
for
based on
December.
I think it was probably, might have been, based on the input that the staff gave them, based on what they saw, and what they've seen and what they've had to deal with throughout the year. But again, it's a recommendation that doesn't, I mean, and in the past, y'all have taken some things and some things you have not, you know, so ultimately, I mean, I think if we take maybe the elementary first and see if there's something there, and see what else we need to fix there, and then see what you're recommending with grades 9 to 12.
So elementary's pretty much free dress, looks like it. It's just free, except of course, nothing with like.
Nothing offensive.
Right, nothing offensive
But
on
it's free dress.
on the shirts, yes.
Well,
But of course, you still have to have your shirt, you know, if it's untucked, you know, make sure it's not longer than, longer shirts must be tucked inside the pants. The shirts, the midriff must not be visible, you know, all that still stays, because you don't want them just buying any little skimpy, especially at the junior high. You know, the little see-through stuff, no. So there's still perimeters there, yes.
It has to have a collar or no collar, does it matter?
No, because we presently allow any colored, t-shirt, except white. So right now, we allow any colored t-shirt, it might be a red solid, it might be a green solid, It's just, can they wear a t-shirt, but for it to have,
Why
you
do
know,
we say
print.
crew neck? Like, what is them? Why would we crew neck?
Like Bob this undershirt.
Not the.
It's round.
Oh, because you don't want the V?
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
because
that's
some of
what
those, some of the.
I'm
girls,
okay with the
like, wear
pre-K to
really
8 with the way.
I just don't know that the wording is proper, it just
No,
says.
they're gonna eliminate that, all that.
Tell me, ma'am.
The one in blue is what we're down.
But it doesn't sound right, if you're adopting the blue, anything deemed
Any
an appropriate,
shirt or blouse.
but it says
as long as-
anything deemed
That's why I'm saying
inappropriate.
it's.
As long as it is not revealing or promotes anything deemed inappropriate or offensive. So if I wear a t-shirt and
Oh,
it,
I see, it continues on the top,
Yes.
okay.
All of that in velvet, that's gonna go out. That's all, and then the blue is what we're gonna adopt. And yeah, basically.
Oh, I get you now.
that's yellow, that's PK to 8.
I'm okay with the way it's written.
Yes.
On the college awareness day, teachers may be worn only on Tuesdays, so if they come in on Thursdays, they're gonna go ISS.
Well, I think they like to promote college awareness on, it's just like a day that everyone, even the staff wears the college awareness, you know, it's just a way to promote college awareness.
But that's, so if they wear one on a Thursday, they're gonna be sent to ISS?
See, that's why it's contradictory.
Why do we have to allow them certain days? Why can't they just wear a college, sporting a college shirt?
So we can, that's what we're doing now, is
So
trying
why
to
we
figure
can
this
have
out.
that?
This is what was,
Yeah.
this is what is in existence, if that's the case, then we remove that.
Yeah,
That's-
we need to.
No, I just want more of that.
Yeah.
Because like if my daughter gets sent home from ISS on Tuesday, like why? It meets the top line.
I think because the campus is promoting, the way the dress code has been, is that every Tuesday, everyone wears a college shirt, or.
And they can promote it, but they can wear it any other day too.
Yeah.
If you want everybody to participate, then tell them to
And the
wear it.
principal could say, well, on such and such day, let's do this.
Everybody wears it.
So maybe that's just more of an administrative procedure as far as at the campus level or district. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be,
Or here.
may not be worn on. So that just we can emphasize, hey, in our school district, Robstown ISD on Tuesdays, we wear college shirts.
And I
The
guess
campus can do that.
May-
Yeah, or we can do that as a school district, but that doesn't, you know, restrict it like this, because you're right, it almost contradicts
It
going back
contradicts.
to.
Because it's saying only, and it
The
has
word only could be removed.
Yeah.
So then we could say college awareness day t-shirts may be worn on Tuesdays.
Yes.
May.
Or just maybe worn.
Or you just.
Or yes.
It doesn't have to say Tuesday.
And then maybe announce it
If they wanna wear them on Tuesdays, you announce it.
Or any other function, like, or any other thing like autism, breast cancer, like those allowed.
Yeah,
Those would all be allowed. Those would be allowed in any.
because they say like in October, I mean, most of them wear the pink.
And like right now, they're wearing they're wearing their stars, their rock stars.
Okay.
and- See, they're wearing that.
Well, that's like how this should be treated, like each campus announces what they want you to wear, but for us to
So it's
approve.
probably just.
So, that's what I was gonna say. If you just take it out, then it doesn't
It's
become,
okay. It's
and
okay.
then,
Just to remove that.
I agree with that, to agree with that.
The whole thing, the
yeah,
whole number?
the college awareness day, because we will still emphasize a certain day, because what we want is unity, focus that particular day, but that doesn't have to be a restriction.
Because now you're
Yeah.
allowing anything to be worn.
Yeah, because they could, I'd love to see kids in college shirts every single day, because they're representing, but there's one emphasis day that we decided to split.
You're gonna eliminate the whole lot.
That would make sense.
There would be removed then.
We're okay with the PKA.
Except we might remove that also.
Yes. We're okay with that one, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Back to the beer.
Back to the.
The beard and back to the whole.
And warm up.
Back to that here.
I think the warm up, for me, it's a warm up deal. I don't like to see that our kids are always gonna be really dressing low. I think some kids should be encouraged to dress nicely, to school. So warm ups, I think you're gonna have them in warm ups all the time. So, I just think they need
And
to.
eliminate all of these problems and just focus on them coming to school and getting this education. Instead of spending all this time trying to figure out if their rip is too big or if it's too small.
So
or if
just
their ear
regular
is too
jeans
long.
is what you're saying,
Just
right?
get them to school.
Right, regular jeans, you agree?
He's saying,
I put on
I mean, we can continue the way it was with the no tears or small rips, and just, where it says or allow with leggings, you can remove that, allow with leggings.
Do you support this recommendation? What do you think?
I think sometimes, because of the day-to-day high school life is unique, that's a good word. No, it's an opportunity to get it right. You know, and I think sometimes it's just about finding some balance. So I think the whole point of even to say that they would wear leggings, it's almost like meeting halfway with, for the jeans, okay? So because of the holes, I mean, because that's just what is in at this point, and will probably continue to be. I do not agree. I think somebody mentioned, yes, because our jeans now, it's like, don't even have a size to your jeans, because they're just wide open. You know, with certain limitations, and I think it's just like now, like they have to kind of battle going back and forth to what's acceptable, what's not. I don't think that would change as far as what the meaning of ripped jeans are. If it is excessive, then we need to determine that. I think the whole part of what they mentioned as far as having leggings underneath, and the point of having a torn jean that's not acceptable is because then you're gonna start to see a lot of skin. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So the leggings, I think, is a compromise to say, well, you're not gonna see the skin because it's there.
But where do we identify that you don't want the holes to be
But what
real big?
happens then is they take the leggings out and then they go with the jeans, and that's what this is what Evan's saying.
And that's where, and here's one of the things that we've talked about that may be something that in between, because if we jump to ISS automatically, there is something that we can put our heads together and come up with something, it's almost like the in between that starts progressing to, because sometimes when you jump already to it doesn't, how can I say it? It doesn't bother you anymore because you know it's always the same thing. It's just like, it almost becomes routine. So, I know I'm not explaining myself, it's just trying to find some of the balance. Like, I know that one of the things was brought up, and it's not here, but was as far as caps in the building all day, because she's right. She has a lot of caps that she keeps, but the thing is we also have to teach our kids etiquette. And what that is to be, you know, coming into buildings and gentlemen always taking off your hat. I mean, those are just values that we want to make sure we instill in all of our kids. So yes, and trustees, I don't think I'm answering your question. Sometimes I feel like it is a little bit give and take on certain things, but I do think that there's probably other ways that at the high school, even at the middle school, we can come up with a in-between plan to be able to address some of these particular issues. Even Ms. Rondon, I know the facial hair is a concern. And again, that's got to be a commitment on our part as administrators. And yes, you will hold me accountable, that I'll hold my administrators accountable, that we find that fine line as well as what looks presentable. Because we want our kids to look presentable. And no.
I think what you support this is what I wanted to know. Do you agree with all of this?
I think that we can definitely work with what's here. I think that I do need to go back to my staff and come up with a tighter plan. I tell you right now, I don't think it's gonna be perfect every single day, but I can tell you that we can emphasize and progress to that. That way, we come up with that in between as far as accountability with those particular students and as well as what we do in the class. The main thing is to get kids in school learning every single day.
Well, and yes, that we should have them in school and learning, I'm not against for that. And then when they go to college, they don't care about dress code, they don't have a dress code. And I get that we're early college and I understand all that. But like I said, we have to have a standard, we have to have a dress code, so where do we draw the line? And we allowed facial hair 2 or 3 years ago, and now it's out of hand completely. It's not like the terrace, it's out of hand. Because you allow them to have it and then they take advantage of it.
How do you measure what's large? If we just, like, I'm even thinking small tears above the knees will be allowed with leggings, but I wouldn't like to see those large ones with leggings. So where do you identify large, and who's gonna, that's putting her back in the same position, so who's gonna be policing what is large?
Presently, do they wear leggings underneath their?
Presently, we're not allowing any holes above the knee. It's all below the knee. And if they are above, we do address it. So, right now.
Remember, wasn't it the shorts that they can't wear, if it's a, they can't wear shorts that are shorter than $1 a length or something? Right, isn't that
But
still?
we don't really have any issues with shorts. It's mostly the athletes that will wear.
Well, what
the
I'm
shorts.
trying to say is that if the rips are above the $1 length, then they shouldn't, if it's above the knee. You know what I mean? The rips. I'm just saying, because they are, I know Lori was saying, I've seen some of those.
Well,
that are
I've
really
seen
torn.
rips above the knee, but it's for
It's
no
when they're
reason.
large.
But it's when, it's already the end of the day, so they probably changed, and you guys are in the office, I mean, it's hard. It's hard, they can't be everywhere, they really can't. I don't know what to do. I can hold one child accountable and that's it, my daughter.
Or it stays the way, well, with just no tears or small rips above the knee will be allowed. The way it was.
No tears, no rips allowed
The way
at all?
it is right now is no tears or small rips above the knee will be allowed. That's what we presently have.
Okay.
And if you just wanna keep that, then.
And then relay the warm-ups and the wind pattern?
I personally, I support that. That's my opinion.
Just to keep it the way it was?
No, to do the warm-ups and the wind pants and the sweatpants. I support that, that's.
For them to allow them to wear it?
That's just my opinion.
Okay, I wanna go back to the rips and the tears.
I'm fine with leaving it.
The way it was, the way we presently have it.
Presently have it, it's okay.
The way we presently
Yes,
have
that's
it.
okay.
But you're still having to police it, right, Sylvia? Without, no real
But she's
positive.
still gonna have to police.
No late.
Yeah.
All right, we tackled that one. And we got the beer.
And with the facial hair, I guess it's a commitment of us trying, I mean.
Yeah.
we enforce it.
So we're gonna leave the facial hair as long as it's clean?
That's what we have right now. What we have right now, we're gonna have to.
You see, but think about it, Martha, if you saw it that long, it doesn't go overnight.
That's what
They're
I-
not, they're not coming back, that is his responsibility to now enforce that, that's on him now, you know what I'm saying?
I know, and I've addressed it with him, and it hasn't gone away.
And President, with the culture.
And then what about the kids, and what about the kids that aren't enforcing it, and they are keeping it, cause I've seen plenty of those, where they look very handsome and they keep it clean.
And that's what happens when one person messes up.
I think we should keep it in, we should.
So we just
use
take
it, enforce it.
I'm still no here, so we vote on it.
I'm sorry, I have a comment on that, cause we have one student here at Crossroads, and I mean, that poor kid, I'm sorry, that one kid, I mean, if that was true, he literally had to shave every day, and I mean, he's very, sorry, hairy, but it's like, he has very thick, and I mean, he'll shave Monday, and by Wednesday, he's already got it, you know?
We have to.
And so, I mean, but he does keep it clean, but I mean, but if he doesn't shave 1 week, I mean, he does get a full man chew by the end of the week, but I mean, every day, he's like, this is like every day, and, but he does keep it clean, but he does have a lot of facial hair.
And we do have it.
Some black people are like that.
And then what is
Are the
clean?
parents,
What is clean, right?
how about
What
the
is
parents,
clean?
are they concerned with that? Do the parents care whether they shave or not, or whether you ask them to shave or not?
Probably not. So what do we do then?
Well, that's what.
I move we, go bottoms and, platform shoes.
Those are simple times.
Right.
And then.
Well, no, she's
You
just
wanna
asking
go
for
back and
changes.
redo it or what?
Well,
Then he
that
can-
way then we can make the recommendation.
And I don't mind the warm-ups, I have no problem, but I don't like them every day, so I would like them like it
Maybe
is,
on
but
designated days,
Yeah.
designated.
maybe like that.
Maybe in the winter.
Well, the way the
Maybe-
elementary says it is they'll make an announcement on the day before it's gonna be coded, I like that.
Yeah.
Because
That's okay.
But remember, you got.
I would put a
What do you guys?
clause at the end for designated days for warm-ups,
Listen.
by the
Ella.
campus.
You got track during March and April, and those kids wear warm-ups all the time. Now, are we gonna take those away from them because?
No, because that's what was said last year, that if the coach tells them, they get to wear them.
Yeah. And how about the
We all
other ones?
agreed on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it on his
No,
first.
well, no, you have to be in sports to wear warm-ups.
Well, they're gonna designate
The
it,
wind
okay,
pants.
Oscar, if it's cold weather, they're gonna designate it.
What he's saying is that track is right now, and
Yeah.
those track kids, they'll wear their uniform,
wear
it's
their
uniform.
It's a actually, that's right, it is a uniform.
And if they
And we
go,
agreed
and
to that.
if they go to baseball practice and they got their warm-up, they're gonna use them to the baseball team.
Right, but that's part
But
of the uniform.
they're being allowed by their coaches.
Oh, yeah, but remember, this is all seasonal, that we got all sports going at all times.
But that's
And it's the same thing you can wear now, everybody's gonna wear it except the people that don't participate in sports.
Oscar, it's like when they're saying that they're designating the college t-shirts,
And I understand that.
they
but if we-
designate those. So you designate the days you want them to do it.
Exhausted the time on this one.
I know.
It's like,
I know, that's
let's
what I'm
hurry up
saying.
and push it and vote, let's
Well,
go.
no, we're
No,
not
we're not
voting yet,
voting,
right?
this is
We're not
just
voting,
no.
recommendation.
We are on
Well, we're
that.
gonna vote.
Oh, yes, we are.
We're gonna vote on it today.
Okay.
All right, so.
But I need to know on the wind path, so do I?
Can you figure it out?
Just tell us.
You want us to make a motion to exclude what?
Okay, well, on warm up, do we?
I think
warm-up
those should just be
has
put
to-
as another at the very end, Ms. Romero. Like after the inappropriate, then you, the warm-ups, you remove it from the, where it is right now. What you highlighted, warm-ups, wind pants, sweatpants, remove them from where under the no, okay? And then make another sentence on designated days. I mean, y'all are designating days for college t-shirts and stuff like that.
No, not anymore,
No.
not anymore, we're taking that out. So designated days by the,
Warm-up swim pants and sweatpants will be allowed on designated days.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I think that's
No.
perfect.
yeah. that's-
Now, what we're really doing now, we're gonna tell them how to dress every day.
When?
Yes, you can wear warm-up today, but not tomorrow.
No, but-
Then you can wear them next week because
No, it usually.
you're gonna wear them on Friday.
It's gonna be.
You know, it's gonna be flip-flopping on the warm-up. You never know when they're gonna wear
But
them.
it's gonna be when it's cold probably,
I
right?
Or when
really
they're-
doubt that.
When they're in competition.
Well, let's hurry up and let's do it.
That's their job.
It's not about the police. You know, no, it's, the police is on the grid.
No, I need to move on to the next item. The teachers already know what they want, we gotta support what they want.
I
And this
hear
is what they
you,
want.
I hear you.
So, you know, we're just
It's
going
not
back
what I
and forth,
want,
back
I
and forth.
understand that, but when
But
you set
that's
up.
what we're
a-
here for, do the policies and that's.
They had a committee, they had a meeting, they discussed it, and this is what
And
they're
it's up to us
presenting
to
to us.
decide. So that's
Yes,
what
but
we're doing.
Let's decide on it.
but
Yes or no?
It's up to us to
Can you
decide
tell
on
us,
the
Ms.
recommendation.
Silvas, where you've changed so far, so we can kind of move on then? On the tears, how are you gonna do that?
That's
I'm
not
just
allowed.
gonna leave it
Leave
the
it
way
like it
it
is.
was, I'm removing what's in yellow, in
Yeah.
other words, that's not changing.
Or allow leggings, you're gonna remove that.
I'm gonna remove what's in yellow.
Yeah.
I already removed it, I can't even say
Okay.
it. Allow the
Okay.
leggings, that's done.
And you go-
And so the only issue is the warm-up swim pants and sweatpants, because what's on page 2, we need to remove for females only, because that's contradictory, that has to go out.
Right.
And then the facial hair, you're leaving it
I'm
as
leaving
is.
it, it just needs to be, enforced, so the only issue is the warm-up swim pants and sweatpants, we either don't allow them, or if we allow them, it's gonna be, we allow them, period, or you allow them on designated days.
Or don't allow them at all.
Right, because right now they're not allowed at all.
Okay.
Right
If
now,
we're gonna
they
be
do not allow.
flip-flopping like that, I really that we don't even allow them at all.
Because right now, they're not allowed.
So leave it like it is, but not allowed.
So then they cannot be in uniform anymore either, then we have to.
No, that was part of what we talked about last year. If the coach, if they're in competition, they have to have their uniform.
That's part of the uniform, it's not dress code.
Have whip pants and warm-ups been a problem at the campus? Is it something that's distracting? Is it?
It is not distracting, and it is allowed by the coaches. But the other students feel like,
Yeah, the uniform.
Why not
is-
us?
yeah, it's not fair to them because, you
Mm-hmm. Not all
know, he's a
students are gonna be
football
athletes.
player and he gets to wear them. I didn't make the team and I don't get to wear them. It really has not been a problem. It really hasn't. You know, we have.
But you allow them to wear them, that are not, that don't have it.
I have young ladies that are expecting, that can't wear
That
the
would-
jean, I mean.
Going back to equity and also just the to try to really monitor that's gonna be a challenge. To go back from day to day or such, I mean, that's the reality of the day to day. Again, if there's something that's not appropriate, on sweatpants or wind pants or warm-ups, then I think we need to define that as administrators, what is and what isn't, so we can,
Because
be on the same
if you
page.
think about it, if you look at the skinny jeans, they're skin tight, and the only difference is they have pockets between that and the leggings. That's the only, but they're skin tight. So,
Yeah, but we're not talking about,
no, but you're talking about what's allowable and what's not. The tights, are almost the same like
Like a jacket.
Like,
a
same
jacket.
thing,
But
only
they're
they have
gonna wear
pockets.
warm-ups
We're
that
talking
are
about
jacket.
warm-ups.
No, the
These are
warm-ups,
warm-ups.
it's either you allow them for all, but this is my opinion, because this is what we see, and this is what our students are saying. We either allow them for all, or don't allow them for anyone, because we do have to be equitable to everyone, and we're not.
But
When
that's
you
been-
say-
If that would be the case, then you would just remove the word warm-ups, wind pants, and sweatpants, just remove it from that statement, and don't even mention them anywhere else.
And then just allow it.
You just-
no, we
Well,
can,
maybe
you know,
we should just let it,
that's
I don't know, there's a recommendation of what he feels he can, it's all under him. Whatever he feels he can hold people accountable to, Dr. Moreno. Got a lot to think about. We're gonna have a break.
I think that, warm-ups and wind pants and sweatpants again, and I think we need to define what's appropriate within those, define that, and we can reinforce those pieces as long as we're all on the same page as far as all, even at the junior high. I think that's gonna be important. That allows us to manage that part of it. Cause there's some very nice warm-ups, that look good.
Yeah, but there's some, sir, that are like for girls that are very fitted, and they're gonna look like
Yeah,
leggings.
and that's not appropriate at that point, yes, because that goes back to our language of inappropriate or what's deemed,
Because the administrator always has, the superintendent designee, whatever, has the authority to make a ruling on any controversial request or issue. That's there.
I'm not supporting the warm-ups being removed, I want them to be in there, so I don't know how we decide, so.
Well, when you, I think when you go for everything excluding.
So you,
What do you mean, no?
the
If
elementary.
you don't wanna go for it, you go for it.
I'm good with the
But,
And we're removing the board parents.
but then she can't, if you don't want to.
No, she can vote, but she can vote against it.
You can
But
understand that.
we're gonna vote on the recommendation.
Right.
That's what we're gonna do. Right, and it's his recommendation.
so they're gonna be the two different recommendations, right, pre-K,
Mhm.
eight, and then the high school, okay, all right.
So, let's, trustees, looking at PK 8, again, considering that we look at the blue section, which says any shirt or blouse, as long as it is not revealing or promote anything deemed inappropriate or offensive, would be the new language. Diana, is there anything else?
And then we're deleting the statement of college awareness, that's removed.
And we're also removing college awareness day t-shirts may be worn only on Tuesdays. What we're saying there is that if they want to wear college shirts every single day, that's great. We'll just have an emphasis as a school district on a specific day.
And then we're removing the small logos or labels, that other line item.
We're also removing only small logos or labels will be allowed on clothing. That's what's in yellow and in bold print. So we would remove that. And that is our proposal for the 2019-2020 school year dress code for pre-K 8.
Recommendation was said that we approved the recommendation that was made by the superintendent for the grade pre-K or K to fifth,
Pre-K to 8.
pre-K to eight, do I have a motion? Moved by Mr. Lopez, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Garza, any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, unanimous, we go to item B, I mean, not the same, item A, the second part of the dress code.
Yes, it's pressure. Here, we're looking at the proposal of 2019-2020. If we go to on pants, we see shirts, I think that stays as recommended, correct, Deanna? And please help me out, Deanna, on these. Then we jump to pants, and what I'm seeing is on the second bullet, no tears or small rips above the knee will be allowed, period, and we are taking out or allow with leggings. That's what we're gonna mark out.
Well, that wasn't presently.
Okay.
That wasn't.
So as is, so
That's as is.
what we will leave is no tears or small rips above the knee will be allowed. Okay. On the fourth bullet, no leggings, tights, warm-ups, pajama pants, athletic shorts, wind pants, sweatpants, yoga pants, or workout pants allowed. What we're looking at here, again, and my recommendations allow us to come up with some administrative procedures at the campus level. It would be to allow the warm-ups, allow the wind pants, allow the sweatpants, and we'll tighten up on our administrative procedures and review at that point what it does as far as having the children in school. And my big thing there is, and we may have to look at even language that's deemed, I like what's in the previous page, that is not revealing or promote anything deemed inappropriate or offensive.
You're saying to put that in there?
I would say somehow put that within that language. That way we can predetermine what that is.
With the warm-ups?
Yes, correct.
Recommendation from staff.
In the second page. Where it's gonna stay as is.
There's no recommendation there. I'm asking, saying the same. That's what I'm asking. If he has to recommend, I'm asking.
And I would recommend on the very last bullet, facial hair will be allowed as long as it is kept short and neatly groomed. What we will do as far as administrative procedures, especially if students are part of certain organizations, we'll review the administrative procedures within those organizations, whether it be athletics or academics, however it is at that point. And I'll have the coaches or the sponsors involved with that, and we can come up with something to make sure that we're tightened up as far as expectations, what we feel is appropriate for the Robstown ISD student.
Recommendation from staff.
No, wait, the second page.
And on the second page, on the section says not allowed, what we would take away is where you see in highlighted yellow, on the third bullet, towards the end, it says for females only. We would be taking out for females only. Correct, Dana?
The boys wear ripped pants, you know, they do.
I've seen some, but it's very, like really, it's like frayed in the bottom, Eva, like when the tissues are, and that's what I've seen.
The recommendation from staff that we approve the dress code that was presented to the board tonight. Do I have a motion? Move on, Mr. Lopez, is there a second? Second by Ms. Garza. Are there any more questions?
The only comment I'm gonna make on the ribs, I have no problems with them wearing them above, if they're wearing leggings, as long as they're not above $1 length. That's me, I'm just putting that out there. And as far as the warm-ups, I don't agree with warm-ups being worn daily. I think it should be on emphasized days.
And again, me with facial hair, so.
Any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
It's
For
five
those
to-
two reasons.
For the reason that was presented to the audience and to the board.
I agree with everything else but those.
So what was it, 5-2?
5-2. We go to closed session. This time I'd like to entertain a motion that we go into section 551.071 and 087 and 074 of the collective zoning report. Do I have a motion? Move, Mr. Lopez, there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Garza. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. It is now 8 p.m.
Yes, and all administrators can leave except my central administration, you stay. Thank you very much.
Any motion that we recommend from closed session, do I have a motion? Is there a second?
Okay.
Second by Ms. Alonso. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Unanimous? Okay, we go to, I move that the board of authorize consideration of the application for appraised value limitations on qualified property submitted by Permico Midstream Partners LLC. Authorize the superintendent to engage Mo Casey and Associates as financial consultant and Walsh Gallegos Trevino, Russo and Cal as legal counsel pursuant to district policy, CCGB local, and authorize the superintendent and consultant to proceed with action on the application pursuant to Texas Tax Code Chapter 313 and district policy, CCGB local. Do I have a motion? Moved by Ms. Orona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lopez, any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Unanimous? We'll go back to personnel.
There's none.
No, okay. No, we'll go to item number 11 now, we go to, 12, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Move, Mr. Lopez, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Rodan?
No, it was me or Brother Lori, didn't know.
Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Unanimous? Meeting adjourned.